We are living in a very ridiculous time. We live in a world where the country of Italy has offered the actual 2,000-year-old Colosseum to host a cage fight between two tech titans, Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. Dana White, the president of the UFC, aka the Ultimate Fighting Championship, which is a global mixed martial arts organization, has said in the past that both Musk and Zuck are, quote, dead serious, unquote, about having this brawl, though lately we haven't heard much about an actual physical match between the two. Rather, we see the launch of Zuckerberg's Threads as throwing a figurative punch at his tech rival. We live in a world where the press seems to be stupefied that Catherine, Princess of Wales, has a backbone. This is a woman who has navigated her entry with remarkable, nay, astonishing grace and intelligence into one of the world's most famous families. She weathered a decade of waity Katie and emerged, grew, blossomed, into a powerhouse advocate for the well-being of young children, for issues surrounding mental health, for those with disabilities, for those suffering with addiction, not to mention that she's raising 3 healthy, well-behaved children of her own in what by all indications is a healthy partnership with her husband. I find it shocking that anyone would be surprised that she has the confidence in herself and the respect of those who work with her and takes a stand for what she believes in. Recollections may vary. We live in a world in which the global population is still trying to find its new normal after several years of enduring a once-in-a-century pandemic. We are still recovering economically, though, of course, one has to acknowledge that Joe Biden's recent job numbers put every other past president, including his old boss, Barack Obama, to shame. We are still figuring out what our new workplaces look like. Home, office, a combination of the two. Our children are still catching up from the years of schooling and socialization they missed while they were isolated by lockdowns. Families are still mourning the nearly 7 million places that are empty at their dinner tables because COVID took a loved one from them. But in this same world, we have 2 incredibly privileged former royals who are not beneath using not only the deaths of both of his grandparents, but the tragedy of this same global epidemic to explain why in 3 years they've been unable to produce content to fulfill their multi-million-dollar contracts with Spotify and Netflix. During the height of COVID, when we were all locked in our homes, we were hungry for content. People were watching 7 or more hours a week of content on YouTube alone. We looked online for entertainment, education, and information more than ever before, and Harry and Meghan couldn't, in 3 years, think of anything to say to entertain, educate, or inform? Anything? Even now, Netflix, with which Harry and Meghan have a content deal, to date, is so apparently desperate for content they greenlit a show called Is It Cake 2 that challenges master bakers to create cakes that look like sneakers and vegetables and pots and pans and the Mona Lisa. And the trick then is to guess whether a cake is a cake or the real thing. We live in a world of ridiculous. In that spirit, I offer the following idea for Netflix content from Harry and Meghan. See, clearly, Harry and Meghan lack the imagination to create content that doesn't exploit their own privacy and the privacy of every other member of their family. So what about a sitcom that just openly exploits their lives? It would be relatable, as every couple struggles to some degree when 2 families merge. Every couple has some sort of in-law issue. This would be the story of a British prince who gives up his royal life to marry a commoner, an American he loves, and the commoner who finds it difficult to adapt to a privileged royal existence. He has always, prior to his marriage, had someone to schedule his life, lay out his clothing, tell him what to do and where to go, pay all his expenses, and make his decisions for him. There is comedic gold waiting to be mined in a prince pushing a cart in a grocery store, trying to buy a week's worth of food on a budget. She has never worn a real tiara before she hooked up with the prince, and an episode around her discovering how heavy one of those bejeweled headdresses actually are, and hers sliding around at odd angles during her first date dinner could be a laugh riot in the hands of the right actress. Think a Lucille Ball type. It is the story of two fish out of water, and I'm telling you, it could be pure Emmy-nominated gold. If you like what we're doing here at The Authentic, consider giving this video a like, subscribing to the channel, and ringing the bell so you'll be notified when a new video makes its debut, and think about leaving a comment too. Thank you for watching.